just said.
Oh,
Five Chicago gang members with ties to Lil Durk, OTF, accused of being hired to alive Quando Rondo in the LA.
The recent arrest of rapper Lil Durk has caused waves of speculation and intense online reactions, especially within the hip-hop community. Among the most discussed responses was from rapper and social media personality Brick Baby, who recently addressed the situation on a live stream. During this broadcast, he commented on past incidents and implied connections, which many interpreted as potentially implicating Durk in recent criminal investigations. This situation involves not only Lil Durk but also alleged connections to his OTF Only the Family associates and their potential involvement in violent incidents, including the attempted assassination of fellow rapper Quando Rondo. Here's a breakdown of the incident and the potential implications for all involved. During Brick Baby's live stream, he reflected on an old interview where he discussed his relationship with Durk and OTF. This reflection came at a time when news broke about the arrest of 5 gang members reportedly linked to Durk and his OTF crew. These individuals were accused of plotting against Quando Rondo in an incident in Los Angeles, the same area where another prominent Chicago rapper, FBG Cash, was killed. Prosecutors alleged that credit cards connected to OTF were used to pay for flights and car rentals, which they argue could point toward a premeditated act or potential hit. Although Brick Baby's comments were not direct, they fueled speculation that his statements may have drawn additional law enforcement attention to Durk's circle. As Brick Baby continued, he suggested that he would have been willing to share Quando Rondo's location with Lil Durk if Durk had asked him. Highlighting the loyalty and camaraderie that exists within their circle, his comments were blunt as he mused over his own decision-making process and whether he would go to such lengths to support his friend. He clarified that he didn't actually take any action but spoke as though it was within the realm of possibility. Statements like these only added to the existing suspicions, sparking a mixed reaction from fans and critics alike. Many wondered if Brick Baby's openness could potentially harm Durk's defense by linking him to Rondo's attempted murder investigation. In the tense and publicized world of hip-hop, even unintentional statements can spiral, creating more scrutiny from authorities. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the response from other figures like rapper YSL Woody. Known to be controversial in his own right, Woody released a video in which he offered Durk unsolicited advice. He urged Durk to reconsider his life choices and avoid further conflict, emphasizing that actions in pursuit of revenge would only exacerbate the damage already done. Woody pointed out that instead of seeking retribution, Durk could honor his late friend King Von by stepping up to support Von's family, particularly his children. Woody's message was one of reflection, urging Durk to break the cycle of violence that continues to plague their communities.
Incidents where Lil Pop was unalive. Suspects face the penalty if convicted. He said indictment alleged that flights and rental cars.
Woody's appeal highlighted the irony of many rappers' journeys achieving fame and wealth only to become entangled in cycles of violence and legal troubles. Woody noted the inherent contradictions in hip-hop culture, where artists often rap about overcoming hardships but sometimes fall back into the very pitfalls they once sought to escape. For Lil Durk, this journey from the streets to the mainstream spotlight has been marked by resilience, but also recurring struggles with violence and legal issues. Woody's advice resonated with some fans who believe that Durk has too much to lose and should redirect his energy toward family and community instead of escalating conflicts. Reports from within the prison where Lil Durk is being held describe him as charming, with staff and other inmates noting his positive demeanor, though he has reportedly expressed dissatisfaction with the prison food. This detail about his jail experience went viral online, leading to more attention as fans and other celebrities chimed in. However, the more pressing focus remains on his legal standing. Durk's legal team appears determined to fight the charges. Bradford Cohen, a high-profile attorney who has represented other notable clients, has suggested that while Durk's case is serious, it is far from airtight. Cohen commented that although there is reportedly a text from Durk advising associates to avoid linking his name to specific travel arrangements, he sees this as insufficient to prove conspiracy. According to Cohen, much more evidence would be necessary for prosecutors to substantiate the allegations fully. Cohen's cautious optimism has given Durk's supporters a glimmer of hope, as the defense could argue that isolated statements or social media posts do not amount to criminal intent. However, conspiracy charges are notoriously complex, and prosecutors may attempt to build a case based on a combination of statements, credit card transactions, and any connections they can establish between Durk, OTF, and individuals implicated in violent acts. The high-profile nature of this case underscores the growing scrutiny on hip-hop culture and the challenges artists face in breaking free from their past. Durk's situation serves as a reminder of the perils that continue to accompany fame within hip-hop, especially for those with ties to neighborhoods where violence is common. While his legal team is working to secure a transfer for Durk, possibly as a strategic move to help him post bail, the case remains a significant test for both his career and his freedom. In a community that often glorifies loyalty and street credibility, this situation places Durk and his associates under a harsh spotlight where each comment, transaction, and association can be scrutinized. Fans, friends, and critics alike are watching to see how Lil Durk will navigate this challenge, hoping that he can rise above his past and continue his music career. But as of now, his future is uncertain, and the legal battles ahead will be pivotal in determining whether he can ultimately leave this lifestyle behind. In the ongoing legal saga surrounding rapper Lil Durk, also known as Durk Banks, new details continue to emerge, and speculations are rampant regarding the strength of the case against him. The case revolves around alleged criminal associations and the involvement of his group OTF Only the Family in violent incidents. Durk's situation has drawn significant public interest, with fans, lawyers, and social media influencers all weighing in on what the future may hold for the rapper. Prominent criminal defense attorneys have been analyzing the case from afar, noting that the evidence presented thus far may not be a slam dunk for the prosecution. Currently, the prosecution's case appears to rely on circumstantial evidence and alleged associations rather than any concrete proof linking Durk directly to the crimes. As one lawyer pointed out, there are no video or audio recordings, or at least none that have been publicly disclosed, where Durk directly incriminates himself. His crew OTF and his former associate Jam is a tangled web of loyalty, betrayal, and federal investigations. This unfolding drama has cast a spotlight on the lengths law enforcement will go to secure informants, even within tight-knit circles, and how the fallout affects everyone involved. Jam's alleged betrayal of Lil Durk is particularly jarring, considering the support and resources Durk provided to him upon his release from prison. When Jam finished a 12-year prison sentence, Durk reportedly gave him $50,000 in cash, along with a new place to live and ongoing support. This act of generosity was meant to give Jam a fresh start. For many, this level of loyalty, especially after such a long incarceration, would inspire lasting gratitude. But somewhere along the line, Jam allegedly began cooperating with federal authorities, recording conversations and gathering information for over 2 years. This revelation is devastating to Durk, who saw Jam as a close ally. As the case unfolds, Durk's legal team is working to secure a favorable outcome, potentially including a transfer to a facility where bail could be negotiated. Supporters of Durk are hopeful that his defense will find a way to reduce his charges or secure his release, arguing that he has too much to lose and should be given a chance to focus on his music and family rather than spending time in prison. Ultimately, the resolution of this case will likely depend on the strength of the evidence presented, the willingness of Durk's associates to cooperate with the authorities, and the legal strategies employed by both sides. While fans and supporters remain optimistic, the road ahead is uncertain. For Lil Durk, the stakes could not be higher, as the outcome of this case will determine whether he can continue his ascent in the music industry or whether he will face a significant setback in his career and personal life. This case serves as a potent reminder of the pressures faced by hip-hop artists and the difficult choices they must navigate as they try to balance fame, loyalty, and personal safety. The story surrounding Lil Durk. It could be challenging for the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Durk was directly involved. The case has also raised questions about the broader culture within the hip-hop community, where issues of loyalty, revenge, and street credibility often play a central role. Many fans are grappling with the notion that someone as successful as Durk could find himself entangled in such a dangerous situation. Rappers like YSL Woody have openly commented on the case, expressing disappointment that Durk would risk so much to settle scores. Woody argued that the best way for Durk to honor his late friend, King Von, would be to focus on his family and continue to build his career rather than getting involved in potentially dangerous activities. Woody's sentiment reflects a broader conversation in hip-hop about breaking cycles of violence and using fame as a platform for positive change rather than perpetuating harmful behaviors. For someone like Durk, who has experienced substantial success, the stakes are high, and each decision he makes has the potential to impact not only his career but also the lives of those around him. If there is insufficient evidence, Durk's lawyers may push for a plea deal or even seek to have the charges reduced or dismissed. High-profile attorney Bradford Cohen, known for defending other rappers in complex criminal cases, has indicated that although the case against Durk is concerning, it may not be as strong as it appears on the surface. Cohen's analysis suggests that unless more concrete evidence surfaces, such as explicit recordings or confessions from cooperating witnesses, remains unverified, fans and OTF members have combed through old social media videos, analyzing footage to see if there are signs that Jam was indeed wearing a recording device. If true, this would significantly increase the pressure on Durk's defense, as it would suggest that law enforcement may have collected incriminating evidence from someone within Durk's inner circle. Despite the seriousness of these allegations, legal experts suggest that there may still be a viable path for Durk to avoid severe punishment. Much of this depends on whether there is concrete evidence, such as direct recordings of incriminating conversations or undeniable forensic evidence linking Durk to the crimes. Without solid evidence, Durk's lawyers could argue that his involvement is speculative and that the prosecution is simply trying to make an example out of him due to his fame and influence in the hip-hop world. Less severe charges and therefore have more incentive to negotiate a deal. If someone within Durk's circle agrees to testify or provide information, the prosecution's case could be significantly strengthened. This strategy of targeting lesser-involved parties is standard practice in federal cases. Prosecutors often begin by offering deals to those who played a minor role in the alleged crimes, hoping they will provide testimony or evidence against primary suspects. This approach could mean that even individuals who were minimally involved or who did not directly commit any violent acts might still feel pressured to cooperate. One complicating factor in Durk's case is the rumor that one of his close associates, known as OTF Jam, may have been wearing a wire for law enforcement. Jam has reportedly been recorded in several situations where he appeared to be holding his jacket close to his mouth and whispering, leading fans to speculate that he might have been cooperating with authorities. Although this leaves room for his defense team to argue that the evidence is circumstantial and open to various interpretations. For example, one key piece of alleged evidence is a text message in which Durk reportedly told his associates not to connect his name with certain people involved in questionable activities. While the prosecution may argue that this message implies Durk was distancing himself from criminal actions in anticipation of scrutiny, his legal team could argue the message reflects caution rather than guilt. According to defense attorneys familiar with similar cases, it's possible that Durk was merely attempting to avoid unnecessary associations with individuals who might act irresponsibly. Especially considering his public profile. The lack of direct evidence means that much will depend on whether any of Durk's associates decide to cooperate with authorities in exchange for leniency. In high-profile cases like this, the prosecution often seeks the lowest-hanging fruit, individuals on the periphery of the alleged crime who might be more inclined to cooperate. These individuals typically face. Durk's reaction to the betrayal reflects his growing caution and awareness of potential risks within his circle. Speaking candidly in an interview, Durk noted that he can sense when someone might turn on him. "I can have a conversation with someone for just a few seconds and tell if they're going to cooperate," he said. Despite his instincts, Durk still kept Jam close, perhaps hoping their bond was strong enough to withstand outside pressures. But once he suspected Jam's betrayal, Durk cut ties, realizing the extent of the risk. Durk is known for his secretive nature, particularly regarding his personal life. Even his closest friends are rarely, if ever, invited to his home, and he keeps tight control over who can access his personal space. "Nobody comes to my house, not even my best friends," Durk stated. This approach stems from his desire to protect his family and maintain privacy in an environment where loyalty is often tested. His cautious behavior reflects a mindset developed through years of dealing with complex relationships in the music industry and on the streets. Unfortunately, Durk's wariness came too late with Jam, as the damage had already been done. Jam allegedly gathered a wealth of information from their conversations and shared it with authorities, potentially creating a case that links Durk to various criminal activities. According to DJ Academics, a well-known hip-hop commentator, the federal investigation into Durk had been in the works for more than a year. An Atlanta-based journalist reportedly tipped off Academics, suggesting that the feds were building a case against Durk even before the infamous O Block 6 indictments. Academics recalled thinking Durk was in the clear after the O Block case concluded, but the journalist insisted that federal agencies were still investigating. The situation became even more complicated when authorities managed to flip Jam, a once trusted member of OTF who had spent over a decade in prison for his loyalty to street life. Many in the hip-hop community found it hard to believe that Jam, of all people, would become an informant. This revelation has stirred shock and disbelief, as he had only recently completed a lengthy prison term and immediately returned to life alongside Durk. In an interview shortly after his release, Jam spoke of Durk's kindness, mentioning how the rapper gave him $50,000, a place to stay, and looked after him while he was in prison. At the time, this seemed like a heartfelt reunion between old friends. However, this closeness ultimately made him a powerful asset for law enforcement. Federal investigators have since used information from Jam to arrest several individuals in connection with the killing of rapper Lil Durk, an incident allegedly ordered by members of OTF. Authorities acted swiftly, detaining 6 suspects within 24 hours of finalizing their case, a pace that suggests they had amassed considerable evidence beforehand. Jam's cooperation reportedly played a crucial role in these arrests, as his close proximity to Durk and the OTF crew enabled him to provide details that only an insider could know. The betrayal has left Lil Durk facing a legal nightmare. Federal prosecutors, armed with insider information from a once loyal OTF member, are piecing together a case that could link him to orchestrating criminal activities. While the specific charges against Durk remain unclear, the ongoing investigation and recent arrests have many speculating about his future. For Durk's fans and supporters, the story of Jam's alleged cooperation is deeply unsettling, as it illustrates how easily trust can be manipulated under pressure. This case is yet another example of how informants are used to infiltrate close-knit circles, especially in hip-hop, where fame and loyalty intersect with complex, often dangerous networks. Many rappers navigate a fine line between past associations and current success, and the cost of maintaining these bonds can be steep. For Durk, the realization that someone he trusted was working with authorities for years must be difficult to reconcile, especially given the financial and emotional support he provided. Streets are evil, your own brother will turn his back on you. However, others in the industry had a different perspective. Charleston White, a prominent figure known for his outspoken views, saw this as a significant blow to the drill rap scene. He celebrated it as a turning point, declaring, "Down goes the drill." A track with Babyface Ray, dropping a line that many saw as a nod to Lil Pab's passing. "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no." Fans were left speculating, piecing together clues as the drama unfolded. The legal case against Durk has only picked up speed, with law enforcement digging into OTF's communications and iCloud records. In one slip-up, Durk allegedly advised an associate not to book flights under certain names. Yet the associate used a credit card linked to Durk anyway. This small error might prove crucial, adding to the mountain of evidence authorities are building against him. Federal investigators also examined social media interactions, digging up an old video where King Von appeared with three suspects: DD, Vonnie, and Boogie Boss. This connection bolsters the prosecution's case, suggesting ties between the suspects, Von and Durk. The footage fits neatly into the prosecution's narrative of a motive linked to avenging King Von's death. The controversy even drew hip-hop personalities like DJ Vlad into the conversation. Vlad expressed disbelief at the idea that Durk's associates would risk using a flight for such a plan, saying, "I thought nobody would be foolish enough to get on a plane to carry out a hit. But here we are, with Durk allegedly sending people on a plane to get at Quando Rondo." Vlad's remarks emphasize just how precarious Durk's situation is. As Durk faces these serious allegations, his future remains uncertain. Between the digital evidence, Jam's cooperation as an informant, and social media breadcrumbs, it is a tangled web that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. With the prospect of life imprisonment or worse, the case serves as a dark reminder of the price of fame and the complex, often perilous line between loyalty and survival. Will Durk escape the shadows of his past, or is he caught in a cycle that only fame and fortune can fuel?